Elon Musk's $44 billion attempt to buy Twitter puts the world's richest man in the crosshairs of censorship-prone nations, such as China and India, are raising worries about how the Tesla CEO could respond to calls to silence dissent in countries where he does business. For Musk, with his numerous holdings ranging from SpaceX to his hallmark company Tesla, managing the quantities of information that governments would desire concealed poses the danger of major blowback for his brands. With 1/4 of its global sales in China, as well as roughly half of its production, and a significant battery facility at Tesla Giga Shanghai, the electric vehicle business is considered as likely to come under pressure from Beijing once Musk assumes the reins at Twitter. Human rights activists fear that pressure could come in the form of demands to suppress activity by dissidents and activists on Twitter, pass over information on anonymous accounts, or remove the state-affiliated media tag affixed to Chinese media. Tesla's relations with China have resulted in repercussions in the past. During the Tesla Model 3's rollout in Hong Kong in mid-2019 at the height of China's suppression of anti-government protesters in the city, Tesla faced criticism from activists who questioned the timing of the launch given the firm's large production activities in mainland China. More recently, the brand provoked anger in January when it established a showroom in China's Xinjiang province, where rights groups estimate more than 1 million ethnic minorities are being jailed in so-called re-education camps. The potential hazards of some asking whether the transaction will go through by the October 24 deadline. Antitrust reviews in the United States could delay the takeover even longer. On Tuesday, Tesla's share value plummeted 12%, or nearly $21 billion, and any additional declines might put the deal in risk. The Biden administration's harsh stance on China might grow tougher still as global tensions rise, leaving Tesla as a political pawn in a wider game. He said Musk's planned acquisition of Twitter could contribute to these tensions, especially if influencers in the US embrace the position that Musk's ownership of the site could expose it to undue influence from China's government. US organizations ranging from the NBA and Hollywood studios to Apple have surrendered to Chinese pressure over perceived slights on multiple times in the past. Last year, professional wrestler turned actor John Cena apologized in Mandarin for calling self-ruled Taiwan, which Beijing deems a renegade province, a country in 2019. When corporations have taken public statements against China, Beijing has pushed back, such as by orchestrating boycotts against fashion stores that pulled Xinjiang-produced cotton from their supply chains over suspicions of forced labor. China's foreign ministry earlier this week denied rumors that Beijing could use pressure over Tesla to influence content on Twitter as unfounded. The contradictions between Musk's claimed views on free speech, government regulations over social media, and the billionaire's other economic interests could potentially play out in India, which has the world's third highest number of Twitter users, after the US and Japan. Though India's 23.6 million accounts equate to less than 2% of the country's population, the platform has outsized influence because to its use by the urban elite, politicians, cultural icons, sportspersons and other celebrities, according to experts. That makes the platform a target of severe government investigation. During historic rallies against controversial agriculture reforms last year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's administration requested Twitter to ban several accounts of critics. The corporation originally followed the directive but then restored some of the accounts after encountering civil society anger. That set up a months-long fight with the government, which responded with new regulations that oblige social media companies to share private conversations between users with officials and a crackdown on information that New Delhi defines as unlawful. Musk has claimed his view of free speech covers any expression that matches the law. The Tesla and SpaceX creator has been eyeing the large Indian market for some time but has so far been disappointed by hefty tariffs that would make his company's electric cars too expensive for ordinary Indians. Starlink, Musk's satellite internet startup, is still waiting for a commercial permit to operate in India. But earlier this week, the country's transport minister, Nitin Gadkari, wooed the world's richest man, asking Musk to build Tesla automobiles in India. That would imply good profits for Musk and good economics for India, he said. At the same time, several activists fear that Tesla's growth into India will give New Delhi leverage over Musk the next time it wishes to attack its opponents. Musk's targeting of Twitter's guardrails against misinformation and hate speech are also a concern, according to Power, especially in India, where both problems are considered common. Musk has twice lambasted Twitter's chief lawyer, India-born Vijaya Godde, who is credited with putting in place procedures for content moderation in recent posts. Musk has proven a willingness to publicly condemn governments, taking aim at the state of California over COVID limits that hindered production at Tesla and Saudi Arabia over its participation in the murder of writer Jamal Khashoggi. In contrast, he has had little to say against Chinese dictatorship. Another risk facing Tesla in China is the chance Beijing could restrict its market share in favor of its own national champions, such as BYD, NIO and Speng, as it has in the past when other foreign companies outshined domestic contemporaries. Musk's public comments indicate his ambitions for the social networking site include the implementation of an edit button, relaxing content control standards, and permitting longer messages. Other suggested improvements would target disinformation and spam bots by requiring some kind of authentication of users. However, rights campaigners fear this could hurt users in China and other restrictive countries utilizing anonymity to protect them from government reprisals.